Hey there. So this video is going to be about how I finally got a literary agent. This is a very much real story. I would like to share all of the struggle and in the end the happiness with you guys. And I hope you find something useful in this video. So let's get started. So, first of all, I would like to add that I did a master's program in creative writing and literature. So, for me, I do come from that background of like writing, but I'm not sure if that helped me. So, after I graduated last year, I started querying last year around like May, and at first it was just no response, rejection. But I think midway, like along, I think 5 months down the line, I got my first full request, which is a long time, right? Because I had been querying. I sent more than like 145 queries. And yeah, that's a long list. And I can share my Excel spreadsheet with you. And I was getting very dissuaded. So the first pull request happened after like 5 months or something. And I would also like to add that I don't come from this country and I write in English. My first language is actually not English, and which could be against me because I do think a lot of literary agents mention that they want diverse voices, but it's kind of like a catch 22 situation because they end up rejecting you and they end up saying that they did not relate with the story. Now I might add that the story is based in India, and it is what happened with freedom struggle and stuff like that. And I do understand that not everybody can relate with the story, but I did get a lot of rejection saying that. And it's kind of like this ironic situation that they do mention in their manuscript wish list. They're looking for unique perspectives, authentic voices, but in the end they kind of end up rejecting it, which sucks. So I did get a lot of rejections in this time, right? Like I was very jaded and dissuaded, and I was like, this is never going to happen. My first full request happened in 5 months, and it was from a very big agency, and I was very excited, and I was like, yay, finally, my first full request. And I start dreaming. I'm a really delusional person. So I started dreaming that great things are going to happen. They're going to like completely get blown away. And this is like the best thing I've ever written. And they're totally going to offer me, if they read till page 50, like, that section in the story, they're totally going to get invested. But unfortunately, that person ended up ghosting me. So it never ended up happening the way I was envisioning it. So, anyways, after that, I did get a second full request. This request was from an agency in the UK, and this was also a very big agency. And I hate to mention this, but I start stalking these agents and on social media and on Twitter, and I was like, oh my god, this is totally my agent. This agent is gonna say yes because I can feel it. I can just feel it, and they like the same things that my book is about. My book is about the environment and loss and love. And I was like, this person is totally gonna get me. And again, this this totally new level of delusional. And I didn't hear back from them in like 1 month or something, and they're like, they're reading it, and they did send me a lot of follow-up emails that do let me know if other agents have asked for this, and they fell in love with the voice, and they really are, they've read until page 50, and they're invested in the story. And I was like, wow, this person is totally going to say yes. And then I didn't hear back from them. And then one day I felt like this really sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach, and I was like, something is not right. And then the next day I checked my email in the morning, which according to UK timings, right, there are different time zones, so I think it must be the evening. And then there it is. I've got the rejection, and they said that they do not think that they are a good agent to represent this work. and they did give a lot of feedback about the structure, and the story is told in dual timelines, and it did not work for them. So they were like, do consider changing the story. But yeah, I was heartbroken after this. I was like, I don't know if anybody else is going to be interested, because I've queried like more than 100 agents, and so far I've only gotten like 2 3 people interested in it. Now, I would also like to add, because I did attend a master's program in writing, the format of the program was also that we were supposed to meet with agents in person. So I did end up meeting like 2 agents in person who did ask for the full manuscript. And then again, I became very overjoyed. I was like, oh my God, because I met them in person, it totally helps. But they also ended up rejecting it. One of them never ever replied to my email ever. Like, even after meeting me, she never replied to any of my emails. And the second person did reply to my email, and they're like, I'm reading it. I'm starting with it right now. And who else has asked for it? And then they never got back to me again. So this happened through my program. I also attended a conference in Chicago, and I met 2 agents there, and both of them asked for the partial manuscript. Now, one agent I met at the conference, I had already queried, and they had already rejected me before, but for some reason I decided to meet them again in person. I don't know why, my charm basically. I was like, this is totally going to work. When I meet them in person, I'm going to blow them away with my charm. But unfortunately, they did not end up, accepting it. They also told me in person that they remember my writing, because when I was pitching it to them, they're like, wait, have you queried me before? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, I remember these pages. This man, the one of the characters keeps coming back, and they're like, you're such a beautiful writer, and these things. And I was like, thank you. And again, I was like, this is a sign from the universe that this person is supposed to be my agent. But no, they also ended up rejecting me on my partial. And the second person I pitched in the conference also ended up rejecting me on the partial. So I got a lot of rejections. Now, there was this one person who had asked for the full, and I had completely forgotten about this one person. And after a lot of rejections, I was like, it's never going to happen. I had completely lost all faith. So this was back in December now. It had been a lot of months of querying. Calculate. I'm so bad with maths. So a lot of months of querying, and December. And this was the time of holidays, and I had heard from people that this is never going to happen during the time of holidays, because everyone is busy, and everyone is like taking vacation, so you're never going to hear back. But this person actually ended up messaging me during the time of holidays, and they emailed me, and they told me that I would like to talk to you on the phone if it's okay. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I talked to them after Christmas or something, just after Christmas. And then, I was so nervous, and I had the phone conversation. And then this person is like, I actually loved it. And, I fell in love with the voice, and you write, like, it's a lot of like lyrical writing. So they just told me that it was a very unique voice, and they would like to offer me representation. And I was just like, what? I was so excited. I was shaking on the phone. And then I would also like to mention that this is a very big deal for somebody like me whose first language is not English. And I've been told a lot of times during workshops, during my program also, that I should also consider writing in my local language, which is Hindi. And sometimes it felt a bit, insensitive, because in India, I would like to mention that we are taught in English, right? We go to English schools, and we do speak English. So, and it is also the language that I think in sometimes. So it is the language I communicate well in, especially when it comes to writing. So I do think that, writing in English made sense to me. So again, like, coming back to the offer of representation, this particular agent mentioned to me that I can take about 2 weeks to get back to them. And in the meantime, I can like ask other agents if they would be interested in, offering me representation. And that is what I did. I did reach out to a lot of agents. First of all, the ones with the full, one of them had already rejected me, the second ghosted me. And then there was this one agent who said that they would like to read the full, and then I think this was like towards the end of 2 weeks that they ended up rejecting me. And then I was like, okay, nothing is working out. So I only got the one offer of representation and I ended up signing with them. So that is the story. I ended up signing with them in January of this year. And then they started pitching the project, which is still, during the rounds. And they started pitching it in Feb, and it's been going around, so it's July now. And a lot of publishers have asked and who are reading it, a lot of them also rejected it. So I don't know what was gonna happen, but I would say that the querying process did come to an end with that. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Please do, comment on it and let me know about your own querying journey, how difficult it is. If you come from a diverse background, I would really like to hear from you, because coming from a diverse background played against me, and I would like to hear about your experience for sure. So please do let me know. Thank you so much for tolerating me in this video. Bye.